friends! Welcome to episode 67 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, and I am coming to you from Northern Ontario, Canada. Today is Friday, March the 4th, 2022. I would first like to start off by welcoming any new viewers who may be tuning in for the very first time. Welcome. And to all my returning viewers, welcome back. This is a podcast about my knitting adventures and crochet, and I'm excited because I actually have crochet to share with you this week. I don't have the physical object with me because I already gifted it, but I will share a picture. And I actually did touch my spinning this week. And again, I didn't bring that with me either just because it's still on my spinning wheel. But hopefully by next podcast, I will actually have something to share with you regarding my spinning. So that's exciting. Show notes can always be found in the description box below, as well as links to where you can find me on the internet. I am most active on Instagram as Inspired Knitting Podcast, and I do try to keep my Ravelry up to date. You can find me over there as xcountrygirl1986x. So yeah, I got my cup of coffee with me today. I pulled out this mug into the rotation. It's one of my favorites. Just coffee. That's all I need right now. I do have some finished objects and a few works in progresses to share. I'm gonna admit there hasn't been that much knitting. There has been, but it just doesn't seem like it. I did finish my shawl, which I will talk about, and I did finish some stuff, but I've just been having problems. My eyesight, like my eyes are still bothering me, causing headaches, and I was crocheting, so it was causing hand problems. I'm only 35 years old, but I feel like an old lady sometimes. These are old lady problems, right? Yeah, whatever. They're anybody's problems. It doesn't matter how old you are. But anyways, so I was having some pain, and then on Friday, this Friday that just passed, like last week, today is Friday, we decided to do some early spring cleaning and a rotation of some things. So when we moved in this house a year ago, I took over one of the bedrooms as my hobby room, which was awesome. But over the past year, I have realized that a lot of my time is out here in the living room. I just have more space to move around, and there's better lighting, bad eyesight. So I just spend a lot of my time out here. So we decided that I was going to take over a part of the living room. So I already got this shelf here, which you can see has my gnomes and that on it. So we do store cups and that in this as well that are like enclosed. But I did take over the top two shelves on this one. And I have two more shelves that are like just over here, and I concealed all my yarn into it. So I went through all my yarns and I picked out anything that is like Cascade 220s and my whole scarns, Barocco vintage, anything that is like a wool content, and of course all the fancier indie dyed yarns. So I concealed them into the two bookcases or shelves, and then I have like two big Rubbermaids that went up into storage, just like in our upstairs, that has like all my acrylics and stuff like that. So I concealed my yarn down to those two shelves. So it would seem like it's taking over the living room, but it's not. I got my computer directly behind here, like my desk, and my sewing machine is there. So if I want to sew, I can still bring that out and do that. Again, I haven't been sewing any project bags or anything like that of late. My headaches have just been so bad that I haven't, sometimes I can't even knit. Usually when I sit and watch TV or something, I have to knit. Well, there was a couple nights where I couldn't knit at all. So I go Monday for my eye appointment, so I am super excited about that. But yeah, that's just what's been going on in my life. Just a lot of organizing. I did sell off some yarn, mostly the acrylics and that, just because I don't really use them. But yeah, it just felt good to downsize a little bit. I still got a ton of yarn, but yeah, it just felt good to organize them. I have them, the baskets, like I have all my Cascade in one basket. I have all my Broca Vintage in another. So it's just nice to have it all organized so that if I want something, I can just pull that basket out and see what I have, because something I realized from reorganizing was there was some things I didn't realize I had, which I'm sure you guys can know that feeling. It's bad. But anyways, it just felt good to do that. The only downside, I suppose, it looks beautiful to look at, but it's bad because now I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, look at that. I could do this with that skein, and I could put these together. Yeah, that's the bad part. Oh well, can't have it all, right? Anywho, so I'm gonna start off with a little bit of administration. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee. So, a little bit of administration. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I am taking part in the Cosy Posy Raffle that is going on to help raise money for the Red Cross Canada and Help Us Help, which are the money will be spread out to go to support the people of Ukraine. It's just a sad and it's a sad situation. I don't want to get too deep into this because this is a happy outlet for a lot of people, but it's for a very great cause. So if you haven't already, head over to cozyposyyarnco.com and you will see a listing for the raffle tickets. It's $5 per ticket. And as of yesterday, I believe she surpassed the $7,000 mark, and we're trying for 10,000 people. So if you can, head over, support in any way you can, and there are lots of prizes lined up. As of yesterday, there were 9 prizes, and she posted that there was a couple more that came in, I believe. So I'm not going to list off all the prizes. You can head over to my Instagram, Inspired Knitting Podcast, and you can see my post, or head over to Cozy Posy Yarn Co. and get the most up to date of all the prizes. But I know that Antonella of Cozy Posy, she is offering up a $200 e-commerce gift card to her shop. I believe she's also giving 3 skeins of her Soft and Cozy base, which is her sock base, and you will send her an inspiration picture, and she will custom dye you 3 skeins of yarn from your inspiration picture. Grizzly Knits, Tracy of Grizzly Knits is donating a stitch marker set. I know that I can't remember the maker's name, but she is donating a hand pottered mug. I'm donating one of my project bags. I also posted that on my Instagram as well, which bag. And there's lots of great prizes being put up. So do head on over and check that out. $5 a ticket. Let's get Antonella up to 10 grand. This is for a great cause. So head on over to Instagram and check out that. So yeah. The next thing I'm going to share with you, I've never done this on the podcast before, which is kind of weird, but I made a realization not long ago that on March the 8th, it would make 7 years that I officially started Inspired Knitting Podcast. So that's insane. I have been doing videos for either 10 or 12 years. I started off with the cast off crew, which I was crocheting mostly back then, so it was mostly about crochet. But I then started into knitting, and I just went under my own brand. So anyways, needless to say, I've never done a potterversary, and I see other people doing it, And I decided to do it because I've had so many wonderful followers. They have been with me since the beginning. And to think that people have been supporting me and watching me for 10 odd years is just incredible. And I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for that. So to celebrate 7 years, I am going to do a little giveaway, and all you have to do to participate is just leave a comment below in the video. It can be any comment. If you have been a long time viewer, I'd love to know how long you've been watching, but that's not necessary. Just leave a comment below, and what you will get is this beautiful skein of yarn. And it is wool interpreted, and I had gotten this last summer from, I believe it was Muskoka Yarns. They do a monthly, like a monthly yarn box, and you get a skein of yarn and a little goodie. So it came with this pretty little jewel stitch marker of a little fishy. So I kept that on there. So the name of the colorway is called Fundamental. It is a fingering base, and the color is Lake Louise Infusion. And let me see here. It's 100 grams, 382 yards, and it's a very beautiful base. It's on a 70% blue face Leicester, 30% nylon. So it is a very beautiful, beautiful base. I cannot tell you how soft and beautiful this is. So this will be the prize. It will go out to one winner. And on the next podcast, which will probably be in 2 weeks, I will draw the grand prize winner for this skein of yarn with the stitch marker. And I will also pull up a second name, and you will win a pattern of your choosing, either from Ravelry or I don't know about Lovecrafts. I've never done a gift on Lovecrafts, but a pattern of your choice. So leave your comments below, and again, thank you guys for your support. So yeah. All right. So I guess we will start with finished objects, and the first one is my Free Your Fade shawl. This has been my main focus. I really wanted to have this one finished for the podcast, and not just for the podcast, I really wanted to wear this one. So this is my Free Your Fade. It is like an asymmetrical shawl, and then you just fade it, fade in your colors, and it has these beautiful eyelet rows. It's a very beautiful shawl, a very easy shawl. I have washed and blocked it. So I absolutely love this thing. The way that it's a fingering weight shawl, 3 skeins. So the way that Andrea designed it, she took 3 colors and she did a fade through. I had a mini skein set from Barnyard Knits. It was the succulent set, and she had come out with that last spring, and I had it sitting in my stash, and I was just waiting for the perfect thing to come about. I knew I wanted it in a shawl, and I saw, I forgot her name again, and I'm sorry. She does the Southern Knits podcast. She had done a Free Your Fade shawl, and it was so beautiful. And I believe she used a mini skein set, and I was like, that's perfect. So the mini skein set from Barnyard Knits came with 10 20-gram minis, which gave me 920 yards, I believe, of yarn. So I was afraid that I would be playing yarn chicken with this. I didn't think I would have enough, but I did. So it started off with this pretty color, and I think you can see the pinks and the blues coming out. And I just put the colors in as they came in the kit, and it's absolutely stunning. I love it. So It does fade. Andrea gives you the instructions on how to fade it. I kind of just did my own fade. That way I could, some rows have more fading than the other. Like, I don't know if you could tell, like there's a bigger fade section and here's a bigger fade section. That one's, I think that one's almost the full fade section that's written. But as I got towards the end, you're obviously using up more yarn. So I only would do like 1 row of new color, 2 rows of the old color, and then I would just work with the new color. So it's, you can just do your own thing. I wanted to use up as much yarn as possible, so I'm not too worried about it. I think it turned out great. And if you notice, it does have a picot bind off, which is not bad. I remember doing this before and I dreaded it. And I don't know why. It's not that bad at all. But I love it. So it turned out great. Barnyard Knits, her succulent set. As I said, I was afraid I was going to run out of yarn, but I did not. I counted my rows, and I won't say the number because it is a paid for pattern, but I think my row was like maybe 8 stitches off for the size that she did. So it's fine. It fits me beautifully. I did not block it aggressively or anything like that. I just laid it out and it's actually perfect. So I love it. So technically, this isn't really a 2 skein shawl. It's 900. The skein set, mini skein set was 920 yards. So you can make this as big or as small as you want to. The way that the stitch pattern is just garter, pretty much garter and eyelets. So you could make it smaller. You could make it larger. You could do whatever you wanted, and oh, it's gorgeous, guys. I absolutely adore it and love it. So I'm just going to put my shawl cuff on so I don't fall off. Knox Mountain Knit Co. Check them out. If you haven't already, they are awesome. They have some of the best shawl cuffs. They are in British Columbia, BC, Canada. And right now, they are doing, I think it's Midnight Cravings that has a 2-year anniversary. So they are doing, or they're both celebrating. Knox Mountain Knit Co. is celebrating 2 years, and so is Midnight Cravings. So they're doing like a knit along on Ravelry and Instagram, I believe. So if you head on over and check them out, you can knit up any Knox Mountain Knit Co. pattern and use Midnight Cravings yarn, and they're doing a whole knit along for that. So do check it out. It's totally worth it. I was tempted, but I'm trying to be good still. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, for your fade, Andrea Mowry, check it out. As I was going through my yarn, I was actually thinking about doing a Find Your Fade, which that's got garter and lace in it. So I think that one maybe, I think that's a much bigger shawl. That one might even be 5 or 6 skeins. I can't quite remember, but I think I might want to do that one as well. Anyways, so the next finished object that I have for you today will have to be a picture, unfortunately. So I shared with you last time I had knit some sockies for my niece Laura. It was her birthday on the 28th of February, and I was gonna send those off, and I saw, I don't even know if it came up on my Instagram or where I saw it, but a designer, her Instagram handle is pi_bags. And I'm not going to pronounce her name because I will mess it up entirely, but I will link it below. She sells patterns on Etsy, and she has these beautiful dolls. They're crocheted, and she had an Anne of Green Gables. So the pattern was called Anne with an E, and it was inspired by, obviously, Anne of Green Gables, and I knew I had to do it for Laura because her heritage goes back to Prince Edward Island, and I just had to do it for her. So I ended up getting some Cascade Anthem for her skin color and her dress, and then the white, I believe, was some Barocco vintage perhaps that I had in my stash. And yeah, she was a lot of fun to make, so I will probably have inserted the picture here somewhere, but she turned out really, really well. I didn't really pay attention to gauge. I never do when I do amigurumi or crocheted or knitted dolls for that matter. I kind of just pick a weight of yarn and choose my needles, and I just go with it. But she turned out a little bigger than I think she should have, but that's okay. Myself, I prefer to have a doll that's a bit bigger. But she turned out so nice. I will say it is paid for pattern, so I won't give anything away. I had to redo her hair twice. It was a little difficult to grasp at first. The designer does give you pictures in the pattern, and she does have video support. So if you purchase the pattern, there's a link that you can follow where you can find some videos. There isn't one for the hair, but it is pretty straightforward. It was just a matter of getting the concept in my brain. But I did it the first time, and then I understood what was supposed to happen. So I redid it a second time. As you'll notice, if you do look at the pattern picture compares to my doll, her hair is much longer on the pattern picture than mine turned out. What I didn't take into account was that my doll is bigger, so she was taller. So I would have needed a bigger, the technique is used with a book. That's not really giving anything away. So to make her hair, you use a book to make the hair. I would have needed a bigger book or something longer to wrap the yarn around, so her hair would be longer. That's okay. I did her hair twice, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fuss with it. It's fine. So yeah, I love her. She turned out great, and it looks like Laura is enjoying her very much, and that makes me so happy. So happy birthday, sweet pea. Mwah, I love you. Enjoy your doll. And I don't know, they do have another doll, so maybe later on this summer I might actually attempt to do that one and redo the hair. I really want to play with that because it was a lot of fun to do. So yeah. So yeah, that is the Anne with an E doll, and I will have it listed below as to where you can find it. Fantastic pattern, well written, and like I said, there is lots of pictures included in the pattern if you need help. So that is great. So there's that one, and let me see here. That's all I have for finished objects. Like I said, seems like I did a ton of knitting, but not a lot. Oh well, that's what I got. All right. Oh, actually, I lied to you. That's not all I got. I got more here. All right. So the other day I did a little bit more crochet. Nope, knitting. This is knitting. I wanted to make a dishcloth, pot holder and dishcloth set for my neighbor Carol. Her and her husband, we had a beautiful dinner. They brought over tacos or burritos, and a beautiful lemon pie that she baked herself, which was delicious. So as a thank you for being so lovely, I wanted to do something back. So I made this beautiful pot holder. Now the pattern is on Ravelry. It is free, and I'd have to go back to the Ravelry. It will be posted below, but it's Paint Box yarns. So it's just called the Paint Box yarn or pot holder. And if you look at mine compares to the picture, again, I definitely did something wrong because mine turned out to be boxes. And if you look at the pot holder in the picture, it looks more like little circles. So I guess I messed up somewhere, and I did realize that a few rows up, and then I was just like, well, I think it actually looks really pretty what's going on here. So I just kept with it. It is a slip stitch pattern garter, super simple. And when you get to the very top here, you're just knitting this right on. So you just knit into the same stitch until you get the length of cord loop that you want. And then you just transfer that stitch back here and start binding it off. So you don't even have to attach this, which is great. So I love it. It's awesome. I used Bernat Handicrafter cotton to do this, and the colorways, I don't have them in here, but the black is black licorice and the blue is robin's egg. Very beautiful. So that's the pot holder. And then to go with it, I did some matching dishcloths. So these are just, I still have to put the ends in and wash them, but this is just Grandma's favorite dishcloth. This is always my go-to dishcloth pattern. You can either do it with or without the eyelet holes going along the border. I do it without because I think it looks prettier. But I knit this as well as the pot holder on a 4.5 millimeter. The pot holder recommends that you use a 4, but I find that a 4 is a little too hard on my wrist, so I just used a 4.5, and it turned out great. So this is again Bernat Handicrafter Black Licorice, and we got like a navy blue one. I don't remember the colorway of that one, but it's Bernat Handicrafter. Robin's Egg, this one's like my favorite. I love that color. And Chamomile, which is like a soft peach. So 4 dishcloths and the pot holder. So I will get these, the ends woven in on them and get them washed up and gift them to her. So that was a lot of fun. That's what I've been working on the last couple of days. So the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth is a pattern by PJ Allen. You can find it on Ravelry. It is free. So do check it out. It is quite popular pattern. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to share with you, I did get to work on my Stitch in Time blanket a little bit, not that much. I was hoping, a goal that I kind of have is that I try to podcast every 2 weeks. So if I could have a square done every 2 weeks, that would be 2 squares a month, and I could get this blanket done a bit faster. It's just a goal. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but it's just a goal that I put in place to help me keep focused on it. So I think there are 4 rows, and in each row there's 4 squares, and I got 4 square. I think I got 3 or 4 squares done now. I got 3 done. So this next square will make a whole row completed. It's not a race to get it done. I just would love to have this on my couch and it's a really fun project. So here's my next square that I started. I think I shared the yarns with you last time. It's kind of a March inspired square, kind of St. Patty's Day themed. I just pulled out a bunch of minis that had like greens and golds, stuff like that. So a lot of these are Polka Dot Creek yarns. I know this one here is a Northern Pearl. I love it. I think this is Gold Coins, Polka Dot Creek. Yeah, I'm not going to try to remember because I will mess it up, but a lot of my minis are Polka Dot Creek, so I love her. Shelly is amazing, and she is having an anniversary, 1-year anniversary to her shop, her brick and mortar shop being open, and she has anniversary boxes. I don't know if there's any still left over, but this weekend, so this is March the 4th today, hopefully I'll have the podcast up by either tonight or tomorrow morning, Saturday, but she's also having free shipping all weekend in her online shop, so do go check it out. Shelly's yarns are amazing. So yeah, so there's my square. I still have one more row of 3 to go, and I'm loving these so much. It's just, what do you call them? Miter squares. So it's super simple and mindless. I'm knitting them on a 2mm needle, and yeah, it's great TV knitting, or just when your brain doesn't want anything challenging, you can just pick it up and play with color. I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's perfect. So there's that. That was the Stitch in Time blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. The next thing I have to share with you is kind of a new cast on and kind of an old whip. Confusing, right? Yeah, it's confusing. So in the process of going through all of my stuff, that included my project bags. So I ripped out 8 in total projects that I just wasn't working on them, and I just wanted to free up the bags. I wanted to reuse some of the yarn for, you know, just different things. It's okay to do that. There's no sense in stuff just sitting there if you're not going to work on it. So I freed up my plate big time by doing that. But this project I definitely wanted to do, but I just hit a roadblock with it. So it's being stored in my beautiful bag by Wild Strands Handcrafted. She is a local bag maker, well, was a local bag maker in Baltimore, Ontario, which is near Cobourg, Ontario, in the eastern part of the province. And so in this bag, I had set aside yarn to do the Spark cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And I bought white as my main color. I know, white. But I bought the white, and I had a whole set of Cascade Wave 220, which is the worsted. And I had that for the shawl. There's a shawl, the night shift shawl. I was having trouble because half of the set was greens and the other half was pinky purples. So I was going to do the pinks and purples, but I just wasn't totally loving it. So needless to say, all that babble. In the original pattern, Andrea does use a worsted weight yarn. So she picked a main color, and then for the color work, she uses spin cycle yarns, which, if you're not familiar, it's like a hand spun yarn, and it gradiates into a couple different shades. So I didn't realize it until I read the pattern, but it's one colorway, a spin cycle, that just shifts into a couple different colors. So to use the Cascade Wave, I could have done the same. I could have just picked one color and did the same effect, but I've chosen 3 colors to work with. So this one is Dusk. So it starts with the blue, it's like a navy blue and a tan, and then it starts to work up into the green. And I do have my tags. So I said that one was Dusk. And where did the tag go? Okay. So these are by color number. And the color number for this one is color number 115. So hang on a sec, guys. I'm sucking at this today. So there it is, Cascade Wave. And it's color 115. So there's that one. And then my second color, I absolutely love this one. I don't remember the name of this one, but it's color number 116. I absolutely love that bright teal. It's so beautiful. So there's that. And then my third color is color number 105, which is the brighter green. And it's so pretty. So I'm just going, the way that I'm going to do it, I've worked out the math kind of on the sleeve on how to work it, and I'm just going to do the same for the body. So I'm just going to try to evenly distribute the three colors throughout the pattern. So here's what I have so far. I have one sleeve done, and it is so pretty. I love it, guys. So there's the pattern. So I started off with the navy blue one, and then there's my second color, and then I've gone into my lighter green. So it's kind of color blocked, I suppose, but you can't really tell on the camera, I guess, but in person it makes a very beautiful transition. So the way that it's knit, it has like a double long cuff. That way you can either wear it down like that or fold it up, which I absolutely love that. And you do knit your sleeves first, and then you knit the body. The body is knit from the bottom up in the round, which means that it is steeked. I've never done a steeked thing before, so I am slightly nervous. So I may be calling on a friend to help me with this one, but yeah, there's no sense in not trying, because if you don't try, you'll never learn, right? So I've been wanting to do this one ever since it came out, but I was just too chicken to do it because, one, it's color work. I knew this part wouldn't be bad, but this, it isn't bad. It's just like a 1x1 stranded color work, and I was afraid a full sweater, and I need to do a bigger sweater for myself. Would I get tired of it? Would it be too much? And actually, it's quite meditative, and I'm surprised by that. So this color work here is not hard at all to do. And then when you get into this, it's actually quite meditative. Like I said, I am obviously a lot slower because it's color work, but it doesn't even matter. I'm enjoying the process so much, and being able to change your colors also helps too, because you get one done and you want to get to the other. So you can see there is shaping in the sleeves, so your increases are done and like on the inside of your sleeve, and they are done very beautifully. So I just have this on my barber cords right now. Since I got this one done, I'm going to go over and do my second sleeve, and then I will move on to the body. So I am loving this so far. Absolutely loving it. So this is the Spark Cardigan by Andrea Mowry. And it does have a shawl collar on it, I believe, and a belt option, which I will be doing the belt option for sure. So yeah. So again, using Cascade 220, very beautiful yarn. And I cannot wait to finish that one. That'll be very beautiful. All right, so I have one more work in progress to share with you. This one is being housed in my sheep bag by J. Henry Designs. Absolutely love it. And I think that is another, they are another company that is celebrating an anniversary as well. So lots of anniversaries happening. That's fun. So I'm just gonna make sure I have the tag in here. I am terrible at losing them, and I don't think I do. Oh well. I believe I remember the name of it, so it should be all right. So I was on Instagram and I saw this pattern. It is free, and the pattern is called Breeze Louise, and I will link the designer below, but it is just a free pattern, and it's just a beautiful cowl, a very drapey cowl. And since it is free, pretty much all you do is cast on 100 stitches, and you're just knitting yarn over, knit 2 together, and you just keep doing that for your entire ball of yarn. And it is a DK, so it's just 1 skein in DK, and I believe it's knit on a 5.5 millimeter needle. I'm knitting it on a 5, but I always gauge down because my gauge is a little loose, but I believe it's knit on a 5.5, and that makes it more drapey. The beautiful yarn, sorry about my cake, it's a mess, is the Northern Pearl, and it's this beautiful, it's being washed out, but it's this beautiful green with black specks. I love anything that has black specks in it. It's just so beautiful. But this one is called Into the Forest, and I love it. It's so soft. It's a merino, superwash merino and nylon base, I believe. It's amazing. So I haven't gotten very far on that at all, but I saw it, and I could, this one was sitting on my shelf, and I was like, oh, that'd be perfect. So yeah, actually this is not a DK. The pattern is written for DK. This is actually a worsted, but it's the same to me. It'll be beautiful, and I can't wait. So there's that. I worked on that a little bit. And besides that, that's all I've worked on, guys. I did a lot of knitting, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a lot, but that's okay. So anyways, I don't have no stash enhancement to share with you guys this week. I did get a yarn package yesterday, but it just had another skein of the Dusk, the Cascade Wave for my Spark sweater. I didn't say this, but for my size, I believe I'm knitting the 56-inch bust. I'm doing that because if you do color work, especially, I'm not that familiar with color work, but it's a 1x1 color work, so it tends to be a bit tighter, especially for the sleeves. So Andrea suggests that you go up a needle size from the recommended body size needle, and I decided to stay with the body size needle, and I just upped the size in the pattern. And I did try the sleeve on with like a heavy shirt, and it fit over my arm just fine with still some ease in it. So just keep that in mind if you do it, or just do your size and just size up for the sleeves at least. But I feel like the size I chose is going to be great. But because I am going between the 3 colors, I got 1 extra skein. So each of my colors, you only need 1 skein each. You probably won't use them all, but I got the number 1 color, the Dusk. I got an extra skein of it, so the bottom of my sweater, you have that chevron color work. I wanted that to be dark blue, just like the starting of the sleeves, and I didn't think I would have that in the 1 skein that I have, because it starts off with a dark blue and then it goes into the green. So needless to say, I got a skein of that just to make sure. But other than that, I haven't made no yarn purchases. I've been very good. So yeah, that's all for this week, guys. I will see you again in 2 weeks. Be sure to check the description box below. I always list direct links to all the patterns that I've talked about today, and all the places you can find me. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments for the Potiversary giveaway. So until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy knitting. Bye.